Yo, what up? What up? It's your boy Rush in the building. I got a few special guests with me. I got Chaotic Truth, Mike Sartain, and the one and only Lady Di in the building. You heard? All right, yo. Today we gonna expound on 10 red flags to see to stay sucker free, and pretty much what that means is watching out for the red flags when you either dating somebody or you trying to get into transition into a tangible relationship with somebody. You know what I mean? So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna expound on these red flags real quick. You heard? So my first red flag for the male space, like do you think having tattoos on the female is a red flag? And if so, let me know and let's expound on this. You know what I mean?
Anybody want to go first?
Well,
No, you go first, sir. You go
Okay.
first.
So it's a great book. It's called The Book of Numbers by Aaron Clary. And he starts to, he goes over what percentage of women he would consider to be like marriage material. So he looks for things like obesity. He looks for things like mental illness, stuff like that. One of the correlations that he makes with mental illness, and there's other studies that have gone into this, is that if a woman has 4 tattoos or more, that there is a high probability that she suffers from mental illness. I'm not saying I agree with Aaron, but that's something that he put in his book. One of the things that there has been, I believe, another study that goes over piercings and tattoos, and like the likelihood of a woman being promiscuous if she has a lot of piercings and tattoos is very, very high. It just is. I know a lot of people don't like being judged like that, but numbers don't lie when it comes to something like that. Doesn't mean every girl who gets tattoos is promiscuous, but it is one of the issues where promiscuity in general, studies have shown, the GSS did a study, the IFS did a study where they show that as a woman has more sexual partners before she gets married, the likelihood of her cheating increases. Most recent study showed that women who cheated in a relationship had 230% more sexual partners before they got married than women who did not cheat in a relationship. So if you want to say, is it a red flag? So just to go down this line of correlation, is it a red flag to have tattoos? 1 or 2, I don't think so. Excessive numbers of tattoos, where it's just like you're constantly getting tattoos, your sleeves on both arms. Is it more likely that you've had more sexual partners? The studies would say that there is a probability that answer is yes. And would that make it more difficult for you to be in a relationship? There's one, Jordan Peterson's lab did one study where it showed if a woman had 20 or more sexual partners, she had a 17% chance of staying happy in a marriage. So yeah, I'd say that would be a red flag.
so you are statistic based, but do you have any like female friends or something?
Yeah, most of my friends are female, probably the majority, probably over 1,000. So I host all the bikini competitions in Las Vegas, and then I host the 2 biggest bikini competitions in the world. The one, the Swimsuit USA, and then I host Paradise Challenge. So yeah, no, definitely. I have a ton of female friends who are like that. And by the way, I love them as people. I do. I'll go to their baby showers. I'll be at their wedding, and they'll probably come to my funeral. I love them. But when we have discussions about their personal life, so often they'll tell me things and I'm like, man, you're an awesome person, but I would never date you. So there's a thing we talk about called being discerning without being judgmental. I have friends of mine that are porn stars that have been with 1,000 men. I'm discerning where I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with them, but I'm not judgmental. I don't think that they're bad people. I just know that I wouldn't want to consider them for a long-term dating experience.
So you're talking about those type of ladies, but like regular women, because of
Yes.
course someone that's in a bikini, or you talking about porn stars, they're going to be a little different than like an average person, right?
Sure, for sure. But so often on my show, Access Vegas, we look for the 3 M's: mothers, master's degrees, and married. And in those women, we find very similar issues. But the thing I said before about the GSS survey, that was married women specifically. And when they surveyed married women who had cheated in a relationship, and this is anonymous reporting, they reported having 230% sexual partners. I think they were about 8.3 sexual partners before they got married, whereas the women who didn't cheat was about like 2.3, something like that. So though, even with that, when we go over married, not married, porn star, master's degree, whatever, we find that there is a correlation with like a higher number of sexual partners and people being willing to cheat more. And by the way, for men too, but it's not quite for the same reason. There's men who cheat, but there's also a group of men that want to cheat and can't because they're the assistant manager at Walmart and they have no ability to cheat because they live in Des Moines, Iowa. So there's a men and women cheating are 2 completely different statistics that have nothing to do with each other.
So I mean, I just wanted to know, but I'm gonna answer the question. I don't think tattoos have anything to do with the red flag, because we just speak about women in general. I mean, I just think there's a lot of women who don't want to be in relationships. So you're gonna have red flags with that already, and not everybody has a tattoo that doesn't want a relationship. So I wouldn't say it's a red flag unless she has a tattoo on her face, maybe, because that's a little like attention seeking, right? Maybe on her neck.
What about between her boobs? Is that to me that's like the biggest turnoff I could possibly imagine. What do you think
Well, yeah, maybe because that's more sexual. So
what about some dude's name on the front of their thigh? You see a lot of that at strip clubs. Like they tattoo their pimp's name on the front. To me, that's a pretty fucking big red flag. There's certain I agree with you. The back and the arms, not that big of a deal to me. The side of the hips, maybe, and maybe like the ankle. The front of the legs, between her boobs, her neck and her face, those two tend to be more red flags for me.
Yeah, I would think it would just be like placement of the tattoo. I wouldn't say if she has a tattoo. Where does she have the tattoo will determine that red flag. That's the answer to the question. So neck, face, any sexual part of her body, like in between her thighs, maybe it depends. That's my answer to it.
Anybody else? So we don't end up taking over your whole stream. There's Janelle.
Rush, are you there? You're on mute, Rush.
Yeah, my bad. Yo, what up, Janelle? How yo? Welcome to the show. Now, I mean, the question I asked everybody. Hey, what's up? Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm glad to have you here today, man. The question I asked everybody is, do you think from a guy's perspective, viewing the female, do you think it's a red flag for her to have like tattoos? Like, what's your thoughts on that? If that individual is seeking like a long-term tangible relationship, like, would that be a red flag? I mean,
yeah, I mean, I heard everyone's answers. I think that there's outliers in every situation. I mean, we know that even from a mathematical standpoint, there's always outliers. That number is always so few that doesn't even count. But I think as a rule of thumb, a woman who's like heavily tattooed, first of all, where are you working? Because if you have tattoos down here and on your face, like, who is hiring you? I want to know that. I mean, I know everyone's woke today and everyone can be whatever gender they want and you can do whatever you want. So maybe people are hiring now, but from what I know, like, you can't get hired with like face tattoos. And, I have a few small ones, but they're not visible and they're like spiritual stuff, weird stuff that most people probably wouldn't get. So I think that the placement is huge. And also, like, more than the tattoos is like, how does the woman conduct herself with those tattoos? For instance, like, I'm sure there's some married mom who's like a housewife with kids who all she does is serve her husband and her kids, but she had some tattoos from when she was younger, and it's probably weird stuff, like a butterfly or whatever, silly stuff, right? So I think that you have to really look at, you have to examine the whole perspective of, just does this woman have a tattoo? If she has a tattoo going down her décolleté, I can't say that word right now, décolleté, then probably there's that might be a red flag. Or she's got it on her thighs, or like, and then how are you seeing those tattoos on her thighs and things like that? So that's my other question. Like, how did you see that? So is she posting pictures like that show it, or is she, these are all questions to ask, but that's me being the Virgo and getting really detailed.
Rush, you're on mute, Rush.
Go ahead. I'm ready for your answer, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Are you familiar with the Cayenne people of Southeast Asia? Yes or no?
I'm not.
Okay.
Nah.
Are you guys familiar with the Sara and Lobi people of Chad? Chad is in Africa, by the way.
I know where Chad.
Yes. Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not specifically.
Let me ask the men on the panel. Would you date one of those women with plates in their lips?
For me personally, I don't find that attractive, so probably not. But you know what? Those guys would probably not date some of the women with breast implants that I've dated. So, to be
Rush,
fair,
would you? Yeah, okay. Rush, would you date one of those women with plates in their lips? I'm just asking you, Rush. Go ahead.
They could probably do some magical work with those lips. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, probably so. Okay. No, right? No, right? Okay.
Nah, I wouldn't.
So, Rush, you know I've done plenty of shows on tattoos, right? And I take a different approach, guys. I think tattoos and scarification practices are representations of the ancient past. And I believe that if you practice scarification or if you get tattoos, you are pretty much rebelling against this beautiful and wondrous Western civilization. If you look at photos of the ancient Romans, you know, if you go to any museum and you see any of these Caesars and rulers, they didn't have body tattoos. If you see Michelangelo's David, they didn't have body tattoos.
Right.
The beauty of man is his body or her body. And when you scar it up, it's really, in my opinion, a representation of you are really destroying humanity. And that's what you see a lot today. A lot of these women are clear. I've met so many females who are mentally ill. And what do they all have in common? Tattoos. Now, I'm not saying that women.
That's a stretch. Let me just stop. That is a stretch.
Ma'am. Let me finish. I
just wanted to interject that.
Okay. Just hold on.
I want to see some papers, some data on this.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish. I'm almost done. Let everybody talk. Okay. Now, the females that I've met in my life, whether it was in college and years after, the nuttier ones were women with tats. And the more tats, the nuttier they were, and the more diagnoses they were. All I'm saying is that tattoos may indeed be a representation of an actual mental state. I mean, think about the fact that you would sit in a chair and let another human being destroy your beauty, whether you believe in God, whether you believe that you are part of the universe. There is magnificence in your body. And look at what the modeling Mike Sartain. Now you say that I'm pretty sure you're into all the modeling. You deal with models and stuff.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look at the models now versus the models of yesteryear. I have seen so many women now, man. I go to IMG sometimes, and occasionally you will see one on their arm or one, and I'm like, why? When I found out that Aduta Keck, she's a super hot Sudanese model. When I found out that she had a tat, I said, why? You're absolutely one of the most beautiful human beings on the planet. What is the reason for this? And a lot of it is political. A lot of these women believe that is a sign of liberation. I can do what I want to do. Nobody can tell me what I can do with my body. So that is a small representation of just a tattoo. So I don't want to go back to the ancient past. I want to destroy a lot of this feminist bullshit. And I want to go back to where women were women and they just had and it was nothing on their body other than their skin, And I'm telling you this. I'm telling you, just look at it. Look at the more primitive people on the planet. And look how the scarification and tattoo ceremonies, or how many people within the population have tattoos versus the Western. I bet you women in Sweden don't have tattoos all up and down their body.
They actually have.
Fatty.
I live in Portugal.
Fatty,
you can tell me better than me. I live in Portugal. I am 2 hours away.
Thank you, because obviously nobody respects what I'm saying. Okay, I'm gonna go on mute. No,
you just it's not about respect. You just make very strong absolutes, and it's just. What do you think of Beyonce?
I think she's a 4. I think she's a 4.
A 4?
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, she's a 4.
I didn't ask for a reading, so that was offensive to me. But at any rate, like, what do you think of her? You think she's a 4? Do you think she's a talented human?
No.
Okay.
No, I think Mozart was talented. I think Berlioz is talented. I think. Hold on a second. You're asking me a question, ma'am. I'm giving you my answer. I think John Williams is talented. I think. Hear me for a minute. I think Hans Zimmer is talented. I
know who Hans Zimmer is. They're all composers. I didn't ask for I said the fact. Okay, talent. You're saying she has zero talent at all because she's one of the most.
Didn't say that.
All right, so she's talent. She has talent on some level. to get to the place where she is, to be one of the most world-renowned artists on the planet. And I've been to 30 some countries. People know who the fuck Beyonce is. Okay. So she has to have some level of talent, whether it was luck, whatever all the case may be. So can you agree with me on that?
No.
You just said she has some talent. So you can't. Okay. So you're a man who is so weak. You're contradicting yourself. You can't.
I'm not contradicting myself. I listen.
You just said yes a minute ago. And then when I asked you again, you said no.
Hold on for a second. Who was that? Who was that Asian that couldn't sing on America's Got Talent?
I don't watch TV, so I don't know. Tell me.
Ma'am, is it possible that a lot of people are manufactured and created for a stupid audience? Is it possible?
I understand
Do you
that.
think a lot of these rappers today are talented too? I mean, come on.
I'm just saying, does she have any talent? And you said yes, she did.
Like a 12-year-old will have talent.
I can't even speak to. I have nothing else to say, Your Honor. It's like talking to my 8-year-old.
I'm giving you my opinion.
8-year-old is more emotionally in depth than you are, and
I'm giving you my opinion. You're asking me a question.
Have you left the United States?
Yes, I have.
Where have you been?
Ma'am, this isn't an interview with me and where I've been.
You're so closed-minded. It's hard. My son's been to more countries than you have, and I guarantee you. But anyways, I'm done. This is like mind-blowing to me. And I'm not a feminist, by the way.
I never said that you were. I never said that you were a feminist. I wasn't thinking anything. I wasn't thinking nothing about you, to be honest.
I already saw your look. I read your body language.
I wasn't. I'm not thinking anything about you, to be honest. I want to get to the next topic.
I was going to say something. I see. So let's just think of this like ancestrally, right? Or what our ancestors would have done. Men would have put tattoos on themselves to show tribal alignment. But I feel like for women, it was a sign of bondage. And so because of that, I think our natural feeling, instinct, whenever we see tattoos on men is something like it makes them look tougher and cooler. And they're part of the winning tribe, right? For women, whenever I see tattoos, I often think of some dude's name on their leg or something like that. And to me, it just feels a little bit more like something of bondage. I'm not saying all the time, but that's why tattoos on men and tattoos on women are very different.
Oh, of course. I agree with you on that 100%. Now I do think it is like, I saw this in the red pill world where all the guys were like, get tattoos and it makes you more masculine. I'm like, no, you still look like an idiot. And I don't see any presence in you. I don't see any qualities that a woman who's divinely connected to her feminine nature would be attracted to. I just see a small body with a bunch of ink. So I disagree with that whole movement as saying, if you get tattoos, you're more masculine. I do think that when you see a guy who's really fit, he takes care of himself, and you see a lot of like some tattoos that are well done and tasteful, you're like, that's kind of attractive. That's hot. Where if you see a woman who's like super feminine and all you see head to toe is, like you said, the face, you're just like, what happened? And it just doesn't work. I don't think it's a feminine trait to have excessive amounts of tattoos. However, I don't think it's a red flag if a woman in Idaho who's a good housewife, who will probably suck your D here and there, has a butterfly on her ankle. Like, I just don't think that is a red flag. Maybe a poor judgment lapse, but I think she's going to be all right in life.
I got a question, Janelle. So if Chaotic said,
let me shout out the super chat.
I'll read it.
Go ahead, Lady Di.
The $5 super chat says, "Rush Fatty #Untouchables." Hey, Lady D or Di. Good afternoon to the rest of the panel. Salute, man. Thank you so much.
Salute, Nixon.
What's up? So I was gonna ask Janelle. So if Chaotic said that Beyonce was talented, where were you going with that point?
Thank you for asking. Most men might agree that she has some talent. I know for a while she was one of the most like hottest women in the world. I think that's been a few years ago, but whatever. A lot of men liked her, thought she was hot, thought she was talented. She stuck by Jay-Z, even though he very openly cheated on her. And most would say, damn, if Beyonce was here, I'd chat her up. I'd give her a chance. So she has a few tattoos. So my question to him, I was going to go like, is this woman like a walking red flag because she has a few tasteful tattoos here and there? Because he was talking about you're violating your body and this and that. And I can agree with you one thing. tattoos are not great for your health. That ink has to go somewhere and it dumps into the liver. So I'm not saying, yes, I have a few that you can't see them, but I also know that every time I go see my acupuncturist, she's like, what's up with your liver? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I've never done either. Or not never, but like when I was younger. And so it's probably from that tattooing. That's probably a good one of the reasons why I'm always doing liver cleanses. So if that answers your question, is it Lady Di? Or how do you pronounce it? Okay.
Lady
Di. Question. Thanks
I wanted to know where you were going with that. I think the question is about majority, not all. Because there are women, like you said, that have tattoos and they're not crazy. But we're just talking about majority. And then I think Michael mentioned that women who get a lot of tattoos, something must be mentally wrong with them.
Well, it wasn't me. It's Aaron Clary in the Book of Numbers. He talks about he makes that correlation. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. What I do know is that there are studies that show correlations between a lot of tattoos and being sexually promiscuous.
I think that correlation with the depression has to do something with the pain that people get when they get tattoos. It's severely painful. So
they want to feel that pain. Yeah.
Right. As a coping mechanism, right? You have people that do a lot of harmful stuff to their body on a personal level. So I think that's what the correlation comes from. And if you see a lady who has a lot of tattoos, that means that she endured a lot of pain willingly. So I think that's probably why he said that. But I don't think that has any statistical fact on that person is mentally, ill. So I wanted to clarify. I just wanted to make that point.
I think Michael was saying sexually promiscuous, and chaotic person was saying mentally ill. Was that?
No. So Janelle, before we were talking about the Book of Numbers by Aaron Clary, and in that book, he says 4 or more tattoos. He correlates that to mental illness. That's one of he uses that in his equation to figure out what percentage of the population of women are marriage material. I think he came up with like 2.3% of women he believes are marriage material.
I'm just so curious his number, like on what percentage of men are actually marriage material as well.
You should read it. Yeah, no, he's doing one on that. Yeah, if you guys want to know, Aaron Clary,
because
Clary's amazing.
I go for women pretty hard, but at this pretty hard on the things we need to improve on. But I also have to say, men with the same token, I really feel like egalitarianism when we're in this field, we have to look at both sides. And I think it's really easy to point the finger at women because we made it quite easy because we do a lot of stuff. But honestly, I think a lot of time today, and I don't know if it's women's fault or whose fault, everyone wants to blame single moms, all the stuff everyone likes to blame. But I do think that men have lost, obviously we know they've lost their testosterone. And I think with that comes, they've literally kind of morphed into feminine women. And so they just don't have the capability to really provide, protect, be present, and to be good fathers. So I think that's something I'd be curious to see his numbers on that. It's one thing to say I've got a little money, and I can provide, but there's more than that that's needed to sustain a marriage long term.
So when we're talking about
Drake with the $10 super chat says showing support, and Rise Girl with the $10 super chat says, okay, Rush, salute to the panel. Go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick. So when we're talking about women,
let me just say this real quick. Shout out to Rasco with the Cash App, and definitely with the although too.
That's great.
Yeah, my man Team Fatty's in the building. I want him to answer the question. I want your thoughts on if you think if a female having tattoos is a red flag, and if so, let me know and let's expound on this. You heard?
How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Yes, it shows that she's a risk taker. Like me getting a motorcycle shows that she's actually open to risk, and that might be something that long term might hurt your marriage or something like that if the person is a risk taker. When it comes to tattoos, same thing as Botox, lip fillers, silicone, BBLs, and all that. That shit has to go somewhere. I don't see no man looking at woman says, where is the Botox go? Where is the lip filler go? So It is what it is. I think some people are averse to risk, other people don't. I think if we are going to talk about being closed-minded, we have to be open-minded too. And this is a lot of problems with people that are open-minded, but as soon as the other person on the other side says you are closed-minded, you are literally closed-minded to the other point of view. If you want to be open-minded, we have to open every single opinion, even if it's on the other side of the spectrum. You can be accusing people of being closed-minded while they're being closed-minded yourself. Even though Chaotic is a piece of shit, I have to give him that. It is what it is. He's a fucking asshole. But in reality, we have to make a clear assessment of what we have in front of us. So I am heavily tattooed. I understand why I got this is to become cooler to women and to my peers, right? It happens the same way women do enhancements on their body to look better. Men have the right to go on the fucking ink shop, get a couple of tattoos to look badass, just like women have the opportunity to get some teeth, for example. So if women can play the game and they don't want to be judged by whatever they do to look nicer to themselves and to the men that court them, I think men have all the right to go to the tattoo parlor and says, I want this lion on my back. It is what it is.
I agree with what you say, that men should be able to go. I don't think men are having problems with that. I don't think that one thing you said about women being a risk taker is a bad idea. I actually think it's a good idea for women to be willing to have a little bit of risk taking in them, especially as wives, because having children is a giant risk, and having children naturally is a giant risk. There's so many things that could go wrong. It's a lot of pain. And if a woman isn't a risk taker, she'll say, yeah, fuck it, I'll just have cesarean, and miss out on a plethora of benefits that her newborn could get by going through the vaginal birth canal. And if she was not a risk taker, she might say, you know what? I'm so scared of breastfeeding. It's going to hurt. Fuck it. I'm going to give my child formula, which need I say more about formula? So I think having a woman who has a little bit of risk taking in her, like she's okay. She knows that motherhood isn't going to be roses and that it does take a little bit of risk. I think that's a good thing for a woman to have.
That's a straw man. Giving birth is a natural thing. Every woman in their life.
Have you done it? Have you done it? And have you done it?
No, because I don't have a vagina. But that's the thing. It's like me.
It's fair for you to speak. You can't speak on something that
is like a man. No, lady. We have in a.
I have a name. You can refer to me.
Janelle, I apologize. I actually apologize. We have in a good faith conversation. The best wives are boring. Let's be honest. The best wives are boring. They're okay to be
that's okay,
kind of.
But we're not talking about wives. We're talking about motherhood. You just switched the subject.
Yeah, no, but you actually move it to motherhood. Boring women have kids all the time, every day, all day. That's a part of their actually
process. Having the children is a huge component. Why?
Yes, but boring women have kids all the time. We're not talking about your bodily functions. We are talking about extra things that you do in your life.
You
the
said
best. Can you stop interrupt me, please? Because I will give you a chance to reply. Most women, if you actually look at the balance of probabilities, men try to avoid emotional junkies. Problem in 2024 is that most women are emotional junkies. They're always trying to look for the next rush. They're trying to look for the next high. And that's why they medicate themselves with sex. That's why they medicate themselves with a bunch of things. And a balance of probabilities, I would say, go for a woman that is actually not a risk taker, because if she's always looking for the next high, one day might be a coffee, the next day might be a pizza, the next day might be a co-worker or a work husband and fucking on the back on the car on the middle of on the lunch break because she wants to feel something. Women that are boring are the best wives. Why do you disagree with that?
Statement though, to have.
No, why do you disagree with that? Why do you
I'm just trying to tell you. I was trying to tell you.
Go ahead.
You're saying I didn't say I disagree with most of what you said, but I said most women today, if you know, they're actually foregoing marriage and children all together. So my point is, because they don't want to, they're happy with their vibrators, they're happy with their 6 figures, they're happy just going out and effing around and living it up and being single. Yes. So I'm saying for most women, if you want a woman that's going to be a good mom, she can't be super, super fucking boring. She has to have a little bit of like, I'm okay with going through this pain. I'm okay with sacrificing. I'm okay with doing things that they're telling us not to do anymore because I know it's going to be the best option for my babies, for your children. And that's the only thing I was saying. I wasn't disagreeing with all the other stuff about being promiscuous, etc.
Rush had to drop off the panel for a minute, so I'm going to take over. I don't know what his second red flag is, but I'm going to interject one of mine. Women who yapping a lot. And this is something that I have.
Stupid.
This is something that has annoyed me since my teenage years. The constant talking and yapping about nonsensical events.
This is funny.
I'm gonna have to mute her. The constant yapping and talking and wanting you to remember nonsensical drama and events that have happened in her life. And I've had to tell women, look, I don't give a ass about what Karen did. I don't care about what such and such did with such and such at your job. I'm over here thinking about the goddamn constellations. I'm over here thinking about Sirius A in the Andromeda Galaxy. By the way, Michael, shout out to you, man. Thank you for serving our country, sir, and providing.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Freedom, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
If anybody ain't telling you today, I'm gonna tell you, sir.
Thank you.
And the thing of the matter is that a lot of yapping creates stress. It creates drama, and it really makes men not want to be around you. You know. I don't know what you think about that, Michael, but salute to you once again. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So as far as drama, like, I mean, one of the issues is when you are a man and you have some level of abundance, physical attractiveness is not that big of a deal to you anymore. And so the thing is, like, what do you provide as a benefit to your relationship? Now, you have cases like, say, Alex and Layla Hormozi. Layla Hormozi is very invested in the same business, acquisitions.com, that Alex is in. And so they're building an empire together. That's what she brings to the relationship. It's not just physical attractiveness. In other cases, it's like, say, for instance, you have a man who's working very hard to provide for his family. Is his wife bringing him into conversations that's taking down his energy, that's wasting his time, in which case she's not a benefit to his whole life in total. So it's not, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some women out there that are incredible providers also, but in a lot of times in a relationship, a man is either going to want a partner or at least he's going to want peace. And so what you're talking about with the yapping, a lot of times if a woman feels an excessive level of jealousy or insecurity, and they keep having the same argument over and over again, it's not just that she needs her validation. It's that she's sucking the what's the word I'm looking for? The psychic energy out of him. She's sucking the mental energy out of him by him having to repeat the same answers over and over again.
All right, I just want to say something before we go to
Definitely.
red flag.
Go ahead.
I wanted to say something. I want to say something to Janelle. I just had a question. So, like, when you said earlier that when we talk about women, we have to talk about the other party, why we just can't stick on the topic. So if the topic is about ladies, why we got to talk about men? Why we just can't stick to?
Oh, we can certainly do that. I honestly forgot there was a prompt. I just hopped on because Resh asked me to, and I just saw it up there in the corner. But I just think like a lot of these it's obvious. First of all, a man who's like connected to his divine essence will know how to deal with a woman who's yapping. He just won't. I hate that word. First of all, it's so.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Divine something.
Let her finish. Let her finish.
No, because she said that 7 times already. I just want to understand what that.
And I like Rush a lot, and I've worked with Michael before. Lady, I don't know. You seem nice. You're enough yourself. But I'm gonna hop off after this because it's not worth my time. The other two, energy, and I'm really big on energy, and the energy is just not good. But I'm gonna close with this. So the yapping, like whatever this, like these are just so like insignificant. Like I coach hundreds of thousands of couples a year, and the main thing. Yeah, I host retreats around the world. I have one coming up in Morocco, one in Dubai. So it is
hundreds of thousands.
Yes. So can I finish talking? Like,
no, just wanted to check out.
One of the main things is, yes, there is not an appropriate way for men and women to solve conflicts in a way that solves it and doesn't just keep it going. But that's just lack of skill. And a man who is in touch with that presence, that inner Shiva essence, will get the tools and will shut that down and won't even give it energy. He won't even waste his time. On the other hand, I do agree with you, Chaos, that the energy of a woman who's connected to her femininity at the highest level, she won't bring that to her man either. She might test a few times. He'll shut it down and won't even let it go any further. And then she'll just save that bullshit for her girlfriends. But if we're talking about like red flags, I just feel like that's such an insignificant red flag. So that's just me personally. So I
Janelle, can I apologize to you?
Yeah,
because we don't want to scare. We like Rush too. We don't want to scare his guest away. So if I did something for you to actually leave, I'll apologize because I want you to stay and I don't want to ruin Rush show. Can you do us a solid and stay for a while? I just want to have a conversation.
I appreciate that. I think it's just, and it wasn't even used so much team. What does that mean? Is that like a clothing brand?
Hey, no, it's just, you can call me Fetty.
Okay, all right. It just feels a little disrespectful, but if
no,
that's
it's fine. It's fine. It's my stripper name. Don't worry about it.
All right, I got you. All right. Good. Anyway, I hope that answered the question, lady. I'll try to stick to the women, not the men. Sorry.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead. You go ahead.
All right. Well, my second red flag is for the females. So I want to get Janelle's perspective on this and Lady Di. Now, do you think it's a red flag if you're dealing with a dude that's over controlling? And if so, let's expound on this, man. Talk to me, man.
Where do you want to go?
You go ahead, Janelle. You're on mute.
Got Janelle mute.
Oh, sorry. I thought I muted it. Okay. This word is like super, there's like a fine line. Can you define for me over controlling? Because I honestly feel like a lot of times today, I feel like men really do want to try and be that provider, protector. They want to have that energy, but I feel like women don't allow them. For instance, I do a lot of research. I'm not so much a reader. I do listen to audibles and I watch a lot of the relationship shows to kind of see the dynamic. And I noticed that this is a quick story, but I think it's perfect. This Love Without Borders on Bravo, right? I just started getting into TV. So I'm really kind of watching some of these shows and looking to see how these dynamics play out. So this woman flies to Dubai to get matched with another Indian man who lives in Dubai. Now he takes her out with the friends. The friends are coming for her. They're like, why haven't you guys held hands yet? Why aren't you even living in the same? You don't have to have sex, but why aren't you just, this is the experiment to 90 days to fall in love, blah, blah, blah. And they're coming for her. And he's just sitting there next to her. And he steps in and tries to defend her honor and is like, hey, you know, we're going at our own pace. We're doing things the way we feel, like give her. And she's like, I can take care of myself. I don't need you to step in for me. And I see that a lot in today. So I feel like controlling, you know, what is your definition of controlling? Not wanting her to go to the clubs, or what is it like? Can you give me an example? Rush? See, I don't know if he's moving.
Rush has a little bit of lag.
Okay, just a little bit of lag time.
Yeah, my joint's kind of lagging, but yeah, you know, pretty much don't let her go wild. You know what I mean? Making sure she don't wear certain clothes. That's
okay. I think
him, you know, things of that nature. You know.
Yeah, I don't think that women, if they're in a serious relationship. No, that's good. Thank you. I don't think that women, if they're married or in a serious monogamous relationship, should be going out to clubs anyway. So I don't think that that's a red flag. And I do think that she should adjust her wardrobe to what works for both of them. If he's saying, hey, I'm uncomfortable with some of those things, and it's not that he's like saying, oh, you have to live in this closet. He's just saying maybe, hey, my friends are kind of dogs and they might try to hit on you. And I just want, you know, like, I think that there's like too much shade being thrown at men today for just trying to protect their woman. Now, if he's saying stop talking to all your friends and families, you can't go to church, you can't have, peer groups, mom groups and stuff like that, then yeah, that's a red flag. But saying, hey, don't be a hoe and go out dancing in the club and just, make your shirt and shorts a little longer, I think that those are good things, not red flags.
In my opinion, it depends of the motive. It has all to do with intention and not what the person says. If I want you on a burqa and it's for good intentions, go ahead and arrest it. If I want you on a bikini, it depends on the intention. It has nothing to do, like the difference between a controlling man and a protective man is the intention of why he's telling you to do something. If he has a small ego and he tell you don't wear that because I don't like other men watching, like looking at your boobs, that's different. But if I say don't dress that because we're going to be on a crowded night and people might take advantage and grope you or something like that, and I can do nothing because we're on the crowd this new year, now is actually something positive. So to me, it doesn't depend on what people do, because like Janelle said, there's a lot of new marriages with new rules and very open rules and all that. They can do whatever they want as long as they shake on it. It's just the intention of why you're telling the other person to do what you want them to do.
I would say that if a man is controlling, I don't think if they're controlling what someone is wearing or saying you can't go this place, you can't talk to this person. I think for that part, that would be the lady's fault, because you should already know, kind of like, I guess what Janelle is saying, you shouldn't be going to the club anyway. So if a man has to tell you that, I wouldn't say that that's controlling. I would just think that he's giving you direction to be better. But if he's controlling you based off of like in a toxic way, like he's jealous of you talking to your mother or something stupid like that, then I think maybe it could be controlling. But a lot of men today are getting that word control, but they're not really controlling. They're just giving the lady direction and she just doesn't want to follow. So she says controlling. Or if she has an attitude problem and he's like, don't talk to me like that, getting rude with her in that way, now he's controlling because he raised his voice. And now she's saying, oh, that's like my father. Don't talk to me like I'm not a child. It's not controlling, it's giving direction. So I don't really even like that word control. Controlling men are the ones who most of them are in jail because they don't know how to control their emotions. So they control every little thing that doesn't make any sense. Like if she did something stupid, like maybe, she dropped his food, burned his food, and he's upset. So now he wants to act out. All right, that could be a sense of control, but those type of men don't really exist. They're probably already locked up. So
I don't know about that. Do you know like helicopter mothers and people that micromanage everything because they can just let it go? Some of them are actually very good parents. They are actually very good husbands. They just need the need to oversee whatever is going on. I trust you, but I need to verify. So I actually don't think I get your angle. I just don't think that like controlling is subjective. I can actually be happy. Yeah. Somebody, go ahead, Michael. You got this.
Yeah. So let's go over the whole situation with Jonah Hill. You guys remember the text messages between he and his girlfriend, and he said something to the effect of, he goes, I think you're beautiful and I think you're powerful. He goes, if these are the things that you want in your life, hanging out with girls who, have no intention of being in a relationship, wearing bikinis and hanging out with men who clearly want to have sex with you. If that's what you want, these are your exact words. He goes, if that's what you want, I support it, but maybe we're not right for each other. Exactly. As long as you give the other person the option to leave, I'm totally fine with it. Because if you're a man, let's say you live in a lifestyle where like you and your girlfriend, are polygynous and you sleep with other women, and so you don't mind that she's out there on social media showing her body because you guys attract other women, that's one thing, as long as you both have that agreement. And then if you have another person who's like believes in traditional Sharia law and absolutely under no circumstances wants his woman exposing her face in public, as long as both parties agree to that, that's fine. That's not controlling. So the thing is, because there's such a variance in what people find, I know couples that are like, completely open and they're married, because there's such incredible variance in what people find to be acceptable. I think that part's fine as long as both parties have the option to leave and it's not like kidnapping, then it's not controlling. You can express a preference. If a man's like, hey, listen, he has a number of women to choose from, and he's like, ladies, just want to let you know, if you become my wife, these are the rules and these are the things that I want. If the woman says yes to that, then he can't then later say that this man is controlling. But if it's a situation where she's not doing anything wrong and he's actually like maybe cheating on her or he's super insecure, and in doing so he's imposing these controls on her, in that case he is being controlling, but she always has to have the right to leave.
Yeah, of course. That's one of the first things I have when my couples come to my retreats is I tell them, if you don't have a formula, a rule book for your marriage, like the 10 Commandments, or for your relationship, then you're going to fail. You have to have something that you guys refer to, and you refer to it often, and it's got to be equal. Like Michael said, 5 rules and 5, or I don't care how many rules you have. It has to make sense for both parties. And I had a couple in Dubai that were saying to me, well, is it okay that we want to sleep with other people, and that we do sometimes? And I said, well, as long as that's in the rule book and you guys both agree to that, then absolutely, who am I to tell you what you can or can't do? It's your marriage. It's your relationship. I think controlling can sometimes turn into the DV, the domestic, violence world, or all that. So there's a very fine line between, like Michael's saying, as long as she has the right to say no and leave, obviously, and vice versa. There's women out there who try to control weaker men, and the men stay because they feel like they can't do better if they leave the relationship. And
I think that's more often. That's actually more often the case now. 28% of men under the age of 30 are virgins. I think that's even more common now. Yeah.
I know, and it's sad. And some of them come to my retreat, and by the time they leave, they're balanced. But it's something that they're like, okay, if I leave, what else is out there for me? Or they might have kids, or etc. So yeah.
Hey, Rush, can you share my picture on the bottom real quick? It's very quick. Like the word controlling depends on the woman. We men are very arrogant to the point where we think that we are the ones that dictate what is controlling, what is catcalling, what is harassment, all that. It all depends on a woman. This is something called cultural relativism, where a woman in bikini says everything covered but her eyes, what a cruel man-dominated culture, and the woman with the burqa says nothing to cover but her eyes, what a cruel male-dominated culture. We have to make peace with the fact that the difference between controlling and actually protecting is the opinion of the woman. If she likes you, she will want you to control. Actually, she was going to her girlfriend. She says, "Oh my God, he doesn't put his foot down. He doesn't tell me to do this. He doesn't tell me to that. I actually want that." She doesn't like you. She's going to her friends and she's going to say, "He's always controlling. All he tells me what to do and what to wear and all that shit." There's nothing about the man. It's all about the woman. If the woman comes through and she says, "Hey, I like you," the woman will literally sleep with you on a glass bed, and she will be okay. If she doesn't like you, that's abuse. So it all depends on the woman. Like Michael said, tell her the terms of the deal. Give her the option. If she stays, it's on her. If she leaves, it's on her. You already told her what it is. Just don't try to. And the problem, and I think about the controlling thing, is men try to get the validation of the woman, try to sleep with the woman, to get into the relationship, so they don't establish no rules. They're extra nice to them. And then when they want to put the foot down, the woman feels like she was bamboozled because you didn't say that shit in the first place. Why are you being so nice to me? Let him go to the club. Let me dress the way I want. Let me travel with my friends. And now all of a sudden you want to be a man and put the foot down. Do it on the beginning. Do it on the beginning of the relationship. She knows the terms of the deal. If she wants to stay. If she doesn't want to stay, do it like a basketball team at the end of the contract. Trade her to the Oklahoma City Thunder. It is what it is.
Rush, I think I'm the last one to give my answer. Is that all right?
Boo. Oh, sorry, Kartik. I didn't see you.
No, don't worry. That's Portuguese for awesome. Thank you so much.
Damn. Go ahead, chaotic. Bring the drama.
There's a famous poem that we say in my fraternity. It's Invictus.
Was it all right?
It's Invictus. I'm sorry, Fatty. I'm sorry.
I apologize, Kartik. I'm just fucking with you. I apologize.
It's the poem is Invictus. It's by William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever guides may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I'm the captain of my soul. Now, you may be wondering, why did Chaotic just say that poem? For the very same reason when it say this to you. Let me put this dude on mute, man. Coughing and shit. I didn't cough when you were talking. Now, here goes the thing. I grew up around some good brothers when I was a kid. I grew up around one kid, his grandfather, old school farm Negro from the South. His grandfather was, I swear to God, if we were kids, he was 10 feet tall. He was really 6'6". Big black Negro. He was like in his 60s. He had grew up in Alabama. And he always had a saying, I'm giving you enough rope to hang yourself, boy. You know what that means, Rush? And I took this as the person that I am when dealing with chicks and people. Hey, I don't have to control anybody. I just let you do what you do. I already know what I want. And I knew what I wanted when I was a kid. A thin chick, tall chick, conservative, refined, elegant, classy. Sort of in the church. She doesn't have to be a super Bible thumper. But I want a chick who is Christ-like. I don't want a chick going to the club. I don't want a chick from a single parent or broken home. Absolutely not. Now, have I dated these chicks? Have I had sex with them? Of course, Rush. Every man on the panel has had a project chick or a hood chick or whatever type of chick, a bimbo. I don't want a chick who does drugs, smokes weed. I don't want a chick with marijuana breath. I don't want a chick who drinks alcohol. Oh, but I've slept with those chicks, just like every man on the panel. At the end of the day, I don't have to control anybody. And that's why I'm married to a woman who comes from a beautiful household, long family tree of nuclear marriages. She doesn't bar hop. She doesn't club hop. She doesn't have ghetto friends or friends filled with drama. I said, oh, this is the one right here. This is the one who doesn't bring me stress. This is the one who doesn't nag me half to death about folding the laundry at 3 in the goddamn morning. Because this woman, I've already vetted her. Just like I've already vetted every other woman that's been in my harem I'm 39 now, for almost, how long have I been getting coochie? 24 years, maybe? I don't know, 24 years? I think it was 15 or 16. So, hey, do what you do. You want to smoke and you want to go to the club? Hey, you want to dress half-ass naked? Hey, I don't care. Ain't got nothing to do with me. I just know that a few more weeks, I'm out of here. And that's how I was in high school and college. That's how I was even in my early 20s and even early 30s until I got married recently. Because I already knew what I want. I don't have to control anybody. I'm not a big guy. I'm not a tough guy. I don't have to tell you what to do. Hey, you wanna eat Cheetos and eat disgusting food and smoke and drink and watch Real Housewives of whatever those stupid shows are. You want to listen to Bad Baby and all that? That's fine. But I know this. I would never fucking marry and want to be in a long-term relationship with a chick who has her cleavage showing. She's listening to ignorant rap or ignorant pop stars. Oh, absolutely not. But hey, do what you do. I'm giving you just enough rope to hang yourself. Shout out to my friend's grandfather. That's what he said, man. Give people just enough rope to hang themselves. That's like some, hey, man, hey, look, I was never the kind of dude, Rush, that kicked knowledge to anybody. Who am I? I'm just an ape living on a floating water rock in infinity. Who am I to give knowledge, kick knowledge to you? I don't know what's going on just as much as any other human being does. I'm just an ape. Kind of even look like one. Fatty!
I want to ask you
whether you agree with me or not, I did not cut you off when you were talking.
I want to ask you a question. I'll pass you the microphone. It's a question for you.
Go ahead, Fatty. I mean, I was on the
Thank you, Justin Timberlake. I appreciate you. We are the end.
Somebody trips you on mile 25.
It's fine. This is fine. It's fine. You are Justin Timberlake and we are the NSYNC. I got you. So, Justin Timberlake, right?
I'm not Justin Timberlake, but go ahead.
What about people that don't know better? We know all the time people that don't know better. For example,
Survival
Janelle
of
was, well, 1 second, I got you. Like, for
You
example,
asked me a
Janelle,
question.
Janelle was feeling a type of way, like a little bit of communication solved the problem. Hey, I'm not here to, like, what about people that actually don't know, like, they don't know better? Can you go to them and say, hey, this is my boundaries? Go ahead, Justin. You got
Okay,
it.
you asked me the same question twice. I'm going to answer your question.
Mm.
So what? Survival of the fittest. If you can't figure that out as a fucking man, so be it. You deserve everything that happens to you. You deserve all the baby mama drama. You deserve all the drama with her friends. You deserve the dudes coming to whoop your ass because she lied on you about something. You deserve it all. You deserve it all as a man, especially if you're in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. You should have learned by now.
Did you answer my question?
I did answer you, huh?
What about the people that don't know better? You are no, sir. This is why you be talking. While you talk, you like so when you talk.
Let me go ahead and mute you. Because first of all, you already tripped me on mile 25, and I got a mile and 1.2 miles to go. Let me just go ahead and just cut you off because you cut me off. I didn't cut you off when you were talking. I sat there with all due respect. See, that's the kind of nigga I am, Negro that I am. I know it's hard to believe, but I'm that type of nigga.
Don't correct yourself. You're not a Negro. You're a nigga now.
God. Sir, it's survival of the fittest. And truth be told, you've had coaches all through your life that have told you this. You've had teachers, you've had your father, you've had your grandfather, and you just weren't listening. See, I was listening to that Negro. See, I mean, I grew up with my father too. But when that Negro said, hey, I give people just enough rope to hang themselves. I see this big Negro, his arms are massive. I mean, I'm a little kid at times, my arms were massive. A big farm black dude. And I said, what does that mean? And then when I got older, I said, oh, I get it. So I never really had problems growing up with people, situations, etc. I've gotten into a few things, but I never had any problems, man, because I know how to vet, dude. Hey, do what you do. But if it's a room full of women, when I'm dating one of them, I'm not going in that room to cackle with y'all so y'all can say that I was gossiping with y'all. You out of your fucking mind. You can go in there and gossip all day. But as long as I'm not in there, it's never a paper trail back to chaotic. I knew that a long time ago.
That was awesome. Do you consider your time?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I don't speak.
If you consider your time, because I don't want to interrupt you, Justin.
I'm done now. I'm done.
Okay, Justin. So listen to your own words. You had mentors. You had a father. You had a grandfather. You had a bunch of people. Probably you didn't know better. They had to told you to be better. They had to put rules, regulations. They had to teach you shit. They had to actually condition you for you to be the awesome man that you are, with a beautiful wife, some beautiful kids, living in a beautiful house with a beautiful job. Why are women different? Why are your friends different? You should actually go to them and tell them, this is my boundaries, this is my rules. Either you respect this and you grow up, or I can fuck with you. What is the problem with that? The survival of this field, you don't live in Botswana. You probably live in, I don't know, Miami, United States. You probably live on a place where it's not survival of the fittest. You live on the white gated community with a really nice, really nice transportation with food supermarkets and all that. And you have to tell the people that are around you on the magnificent level of privilege, because they don't have to survive for nothing. They're actually, their life is very comfortable, to tell them, hey, I don't like you to do that. Don't do that when I'm with you. What is the problem with we doing that to women and women doing that to us? Setting boundaries instead of actually asking us, can you read my mind? Because you should know better. If you don't tell a woman what to do, you are just like them. You want a mind reader. You want somebody that knows your boundaries, that knows everything that you're going to do, and they either comply to what you want and read your mind or they're not going to be with you. Tell them what to do. There's not the problem with that. If you don't talk and you don't set boundaries, you don't deserve whatever they have coming across actually to give you, because you didn't tell them what you want.
Right.
I just want to break this up real quick and say I respect both of your opinions. But there's even your girl Melania Trump shows a little cleavage. There's nothing wrong with showing a little bit of cleavage. There's an appropriate amount of cleavage, and studies have shown that men do like to see just a little bit, like a little bit of cleavage or a little bit of legs. You show one or the other, and that's appropriate. There's nothing wrong with women who show a little bit of cleavage. In fact, there's a lot of classy conservative women who show just the appropriate amount. So that's all I want to say.
Is your cleavage appropriate right now?
It is for my body. It's for my body type. Yes, it is.
What if you find the man that says, I want a little bit less? Is that okay?
I would do it. Absolutely. I told you, my partner that I dated for a few years, he asked me, he just said, hey, I think that your shorts could be just a little bit longer. And I said, okay. And we were on vacation together. Well, I wasn't by myself. I was with them. And I said, oh, okay. I said, no one's ever said that to me before, but I said, what's an appropriate length? And he said, let's go shopping. And I said, okay. And so I bought several pairs that he felt were just a little bit longer and that were more appropriate. And I mean, I don't wear shorts unless I'm on vacation. And I was totally fine with it. And the guy was about 15 years younger than me. So it was.
Can we be more specific? Because I'm actually talking about your cleavage. Is your selling point? No disrespect, right? If a woman, if the woman gets boobs, if a woman gets a BBL, if a woman gets whatever, she wants to showcase usually the part that she actually enhanced. So the short part, I got you. The short part, I think you.
So I was trying to answer you.
Yes, and I'll give you the microphone.
Okay.
The short part, I will understand it, right?
Yeah.
Because probably it's not your selling point. You will be willing to do it. But if you got a boyfriend right now and he said, do you see those 72 tops and shirts and all that have like a V-neck, like a big one? Throw all of them away and buy something more conservative. Would you be okay with it without no fighting?
Absolutely. But I get this all the time just because of how my body is, my proportions. I have a small waist, I have hips, and I have boobs. And just so you know, just to kind of make you feel stupid, because you can look at
I thought you were on the respectful thing.
I am.
Yeah, no, I'm just warning because if you're going to go there, I don't know that you don't follow. Yeah, you have nothing over there. Do the camera cam for us.
I just wanted to let you know my dress goes down to my knees.
Yes.
I have large breasts, and just so you know, while I have breasts, so you can look up my story. You know,
shout out to your plastic surgeon.
No, well, let me tell you. I had a pimp for 10 years. I didn't have what Chaotic Truth is talking about.
Yes.
I was in the foster system and I got involved with the wrong crowd. I actually used to live in Vegas and I was trafficked for a decade. So I have
so you are a victim, right? Here we go. CSI.
But now what I do is I actually took my experience and created my business now, which is I help people heal from sexual trauma and help them to create lasting, passionate intimacy. But I still don't feel that there's anything inappropriate with this. Now, if a man were to tell me, hey, I would like for you to cover up, then I absolutely would. I would put on a cardigan. No problem. But most men, they like me to show a little cleavage. As long as my skirt's long, everything else, it's fine. So that has been my experience, but everyone has a different one.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
Next red flag, Rush.
Hi. My next red flag is for the males towards the females, right? Do you think it's a red flag if a female has a attitude of entitlement? And if so, let's expound on this, man. Talk to me, man.
Can I go first for that one? You mind if I go first for that one, Rush? You know, normally I would wait for the last. I want to
go ahead. Before you go, Kartik. Hey, Janelle, thank you for your service. Go ahead, Kartik. You got this.
Okay. Team Fatty. Fatty, come on, man. Come on. Now you just
wait. What?
Come on, man. Okay. So Rush, do me a favor. Ask that question again because you know I've done shows about this. Go ahead. Ask it again, Rush.
All right. This question is another red flag, right? It's based on a female having an attitude of entitlement, man. Let's expound on this, man. Do you think it's a red flag? Talk to me, man.
No, believe it or not, no. If a female is thin, tall, symmetrical face. Now, I like hair, but some people, some people may go for bald, maybe. It depends on the kind of female. Tall, thin, again, a certain bit of elegance, class. in youth, oh yeah. And you know, she's again refined. She knows how to eat. She knows how to interact. She knows, you know, for example, you know, I'm in a fraternity, right? So we have a lot of events, and she knows how to pretty much be a trophy. Then yeah, she can be a title. Absolutely. Absolutely. But what has happened, Rush, and we've talked about this, Rush, unfortunately, social media has made the Oompa Loompas, the mud ducks, the preciouses think that they are entitled. You know, I've even Rush. It happened to me one time. I was out at a club, you know, me and Blue Cousin, and some regular girl, first of all, touched me, pow, you know, on the shoulder. I look back, you know, it's the girl from Family Matters, you know, Laura. I'm like, who is okay? She said, oh, my friend want your seat or something. And I looked at her friend. Her friend looked like, you know, her friend, I don't know, who's a basic looking chick, bro. I don't know, man. Her friend was just like a 3, 4. She said, oh, my friend been nursing all day and she want to sit here. And I said, no, absolutely not. And it had nothing to do with the fact that, you know, I want to feel tough and I don't want to simp. I would have simped for a super hot chick, but not no chick like that. This booger bear, no. But unfortunately, she lives in this environment where she's been participation trophy generation. She's been told she's pretty by everybody. Nobody tells anybody the truth anymore. Now, even the ugly girls feel entitled now, bro. The ugly ones. So yeah, again, entitlement comes with attractiveness and height and thinness. You can't be entitled when 400 pounds and you 34 years old. Absolutely not. You can't be entitled when, you know, you are a 3 or a 4 and then your mom looks like a crackhead. No, hell no. You don't come from you don't even come from a pretty lineage. Hell no. And when I was teaching, Rush, I tried to tell those boys, don't settle with these booger bears. No, hell no. No, bad boy. Sit. So the thing is that, bro, yes, entitlement, man. Because you know what entitlement is, Rush? It's a trophy on your arm when you go places. Dude, I'm an ugly dude, Rush. You know, I look like Marmaduke in the face, Rush. You know, I'm short too. But Rush, do you know how many times I've been in places with pretty chicks and dudes walk over to me and say, "Dang man, that's your chick," and then wanted to know who I am, and we've you know connected and done business, or we've you know I've met guys like that, you know who I've done even business with before because I was just with a pretty chick. They wouldn't have walked over to me and sparked up a conversation. Fatty, did I put my hand up like this when you were talking? Did I do that?
Wow.
I didn't do that.
Me asking, wait, what? This is.
Let me get this dude up out of here. See, now this dude is pissing me off. Okay, I'm gonna bring Fatty back in a minute. Fatty. So yeah, Rush. Oh yeah, definitely. It matters, man. Especially when you're ugly, bro, like me. Go ahead, Rush.
I have something to say.
Go ahead.
So chaotic. You mentioned that Janelle was yapping earlier.
I did not. I did not. I never
Yes,
said
you did.
that.
It was passive
Let
aggressive.
me
You did
finish
it.
though. You're doing the same thing. You're talking too long. I'm like for real. So we got other people to talk. You could say your stories, but like you said that to Janelle and she was saying her stories, and you're giving us a story every time you talk.
I never said Janelle was yapping. I never said Janelle is yapping. I never said that. I said a red flag is a female who yaps. I never mentioned her. I never brought her up in that conversation. Never. You can go back and it's time stamped and everything. You can go back. I never
That's
did.
why you are a coward. It's passive aggressive. Put the name on it.
All
Fatty,
I'm saying is,
hold on for a
I
second.
know,
Hold on for a second. Lady Di. Fatty, I never wanted to say nothing, but you should be thanking your lucky stars for America, sir. We're feeding you, okay? Just want to point that out. Go ahead, Lady Di.
I understand you didn't say Janelle's name, but we all know that you were talking about her.
No.
So all
You're
I'm
incorrect.
saying
You're
is
incorrect.
you're yapping right now.
But I'm done. I'm done now. I'm done.
Okay, so
done.
that's all I'm saying.
Okay,
Like your stories seem cool, your poems and everything, but like every time you talk, you have to give a story. Like,
okay,
I'm trying to be. I'm listening to everybody, but Michael and me have not spoken yet.
Well, it was really for the men, but okay, I got you, Lady Di, I got you.
Okay. Now to answer the question, I think that just women in general, we all have attitudes. That's what comes with it. How to control your attitude is a different story. I think women should learn how to control it. They feel that because they are women, they have to have an attitude. Accept me for who I am. I'm emotional, accept all this stuff. So I think that entitlement could be what it is, but I think that naturally women are just going to have attitudes because of many different factors. So just learning how to basically be more logical when thinking could help with that. I wouldn't say it's all entitlement. That's all I have to say.
I just want to say Lady Di is a great listener, and I bet your partner, if you have one, is very grateful for you.
Oh, thanks, Janelle. He tells me that. He's been telling me that, but it takes time.
And you'll be a great mom if you're not one. I don't think you're one. I think you're young.
I am.
Oh, you are? Okay. How old?
I have a lot. So the youngest is 2.
Okay. Wow. You look great. So keep doing whatever you're doing.
Thank you. You as well.
You're muted.
A woman's entitlement being a red flag. So anyone's entitlement is a red flag. Entitlement kind of comes from entitlement comes from the concept of just having a lack of gratitude, right? Most of us, we take it for granted. We live in a world where half the Earth's population lives on $1 a day. Before 1947, there were no broad spectrum antibiotics. When you consider like the most powerful man in the world, Henry VIII, died of gout, something that's easily curable today. We have so many advantages for something that doesn't even cost a month's salary. You can get in an airplane and fly 600 miles an hour to different places all over the world. You can go to a McDonald's or some junk food place and get enough your ancestors could never do this. You can get enough calories to kill yourself, even making minimum wage. You can get enough calories, fat, protein, carbs to kill yourself, even if you make minimum wage. So we should have gratitude for the situation we're in. So here's the thing. When you deal with people who are young, full of hormones and impetuous, a lot of times you're going to deal with entitlement. That'll happen sometimes. Some people who lose themselves, or like I said before, don't have the ability to feel gratitude or don't have the ability to notice present moment awareness, for sure, that will happen. The thing is, do they then take accountability for their lack of gratitude at a later time? To me, that's the most important thing. Like if you're going to say like, what is something about a woman that I would look at and I'd be like, man, that's absolutely incredible, is a very beautiful woman who, when she makes mistakes, she takes accountability for her mistakes. I can't think of anything more attractive. I can't think of anything more attractive than the ability to take accountability for it, because we learn and grow. There's probably points in my life where I was probably felt entitled, but now it's like, even when I'm here in Vegas, I'll walk up to nightclubs where it's like my birthday party and they're going to let me skip the line, and I'll walk in, I'll just stand in line like everybody else. And they'll be like, no, bring us up. And I'm like, I never want to come off as entitled to the people that I work with, especially the people who work on my team, my company. So entitlement is a disease, and it also spreads from one person to another. And it also allows you to become a victim. So it's very dangerous. But if people can see their entitlement and then say, okay, I'm going to take accountability for the fact that I was entitled, maybe apologize for it later or try to do better, that's fine. If they don't try to do better, you might be dealing with someone who's a narcissist.
Michael, I love you, but what was your stat? I think your stat was a little off. It's about 800 million that live off of less than $2 a day, about $1.90. What did you say?
I thought it was half the Earth's population was living like around like less than $10 a day or something like that.
Tony Robbins says this all the time, so I have it in my notes. But but it still doesn't matter. Still, a lot of people not eating off much, and I love Michael. He's very humble. Okay, I want to address this Lord Giatron, however you say that. This is like hilarious, because if you know anything about me, I only date black men, so I'm not racist at all. I was going to say I only see energy. When it comes to stuff like this, I only see energy. When it comes to my partner, I do look for the tallest, biggest, and that's why my son is 5 feet and he's 8 years old. So I'm not racist against black men. That's not true. I think we just had a difference of personality, and that's okay. So try something else, dear.
Yes. So my question when I was putting the finger up, and I'm sorry, this is a cultural thing. on my country, when you put the finger up is respectfully, I'm waiting my time, but I sorry for triggering you, chaotic. I actually agree with Michael, and I want to ask you something because maybe it's my English. My English is not like. Are you saying that beautiful woman, rich man, powerful people should actually feel entitled about shit, walking around like the world is theirs, like they are a star on a movie and everybody's an NPC and they're like the main character syndrome? Is that what you're saying? I want to make it
No,
clear. No,
I'm
not you,
saying,
Michael. I know. You said the opposite, right? You said no
yeah,
matter
so the
how rich
opposite.
you
Yeah,
are, how
they should,
powerful you are,
yeah.
you should actually humble yourself so you can.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
those people get a tremendous amount of respect. Chaotic, on the other end, for what I understood, he was saying, "Why are you a fat woman and entitled? Are you saying that if she was a beautiful woman, if he was a very powerful man, a rich man, all that the entitlement is okay?" I just want to make sure that we are on the same page.
No. So there's a
No,
for instance,
Michael. It's not to you. It's chaotic. Chaotic was. I think you were in and out.
oh,
Chaotic
sorry, the chaos. My
Chaotic
bad.
said that before you. I agree with you. On your point. No matter how big, no matter how tall, no matter how much money, no matter how beautiful, you need to humble yourself and actually understand that the world is not yours. It's for chaotic. I just want to make sure that he's on the same page.
Yeah.
Can I address you, Fatty?
I concede my time.
I bet you Michael has a beautiful thin woman right now, or a harem of them.
Mm.
I bet you Janelle has a tall, dark black man who looks like Morris Chestnut in the face. Pause. Stop the BS, Fatty. We all can pretend to be humble and we can pretend everybody's beautiful. That's not the case, Fatty. I get it. You live in Portugal, poor Western European country. I get it. You're downtrodden. But sir, we live in this is the West. But sir, I live in America, Fatty.
Yes.
I've heard this before. I've heard people say this before. But then when I challenge people, they say, "Oh, everybody's beautiful." Really? Well, let's see the midget you married. Let me see the dwarf you married. Let me see the person with the scars all over your face you married. Then it gets to crickets. Fatty, I'm just truthful about my shit, dude. Fatty, stop. Yeah, Michael, he's a good guy. I get it. He has a brand too. Same thing with Janelle. But they're not gonna really tell you what they really think. But their spouses, their harem of people proves who they find attractive. So yes, Fatty. So you over here disrespecting me and calling me names? That's fine. I'm an American. I get it. You're jealous of me. But the fact of the matter is, man, none of these people on this panel would ever date Precious. Michael wouldn't. You wouldn't. I for damn sure wouldn't. I'm married now, but I always wanted a chick who looked like Zoe Zeldana. I always wanted a chick who looked like one of those Sudanese models, which my wife actually is tall and looks like one now. So yeah, man, go ahead, Fatty. Go ahead.
So first of all, I'm sorry for doubling your numbers being a Portuguese citizen while you have an American fan base, and I still my channel runs laps around you, and in a very short time. So I apologize for being better than you. There's the first one. The second one, you are a terrible listener. Now I'm going to stick to the point. I'm not going to. You are a terrible listener.
You speak English.
You are a terrible listener. There's winners and losers. There are pretty people and ugly people. There's powerful people and there are weak people. What I ask you, chaotic, was not about we knowing who you are. I'm not asking Michael or Janelle or Lady Di to be to just pretend that they like to lower themselves down to make me feel better because I'm a loser. I'm asking you, and I'll repeat it again, now in better English, not the Frankenstein, Transylvania type of English. Do you think that just because you are beautiful, that just because you are powerful, that just because you are actually above average, that you deserve and earn the entitlement? That you should go? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So if you got $2 million tomorrow, a supermodel woman in a mansion, you would be the biggest fucking asshole on the planet. Is that what you're saying? Because you are entitled to that. Because you earn it. You are better than everybody else. Kiss my fucking shoe because I am better than you. Would you?
Sir.
Do you agree with that kind of attitude?
Sir, rich people prove that they think that they're better than people all the time. It's the same thing that it happens in America all the time when you have rich politicians and rich people advocating for the homeless, advocating for immigrants. But as soon as those illegals came to Martha's Vineyard, oh, y'all got to get the hell up out of here. Sir, who are you talking to? You talking to me? I talk about politics all day, sir. Who you talking to, fatty? Of course, people think like that. They prove it all the time. They prove it with the food they eat, the cars they drive. They prove it with the neighborhoods they live in, sir. Sir, rich people don't want to, sir, fatty, you ask me a question, I'm giving you my answer. Sir, rich people prove how they really feel about people when they look at let's take it on a small scale. Look at black athletes. These Negroes swear up and LeBron, one of them, swear up and down he love black people. Swear up and down the police are brutal, practicing police brutality. Where the fuck does he live at right now? Stop, dude. You talking to me, fatty. You ain't talking to some dumb nigga on the street.
Isn't there more power?
Every fucking time they become rich, who they like and what they like. Rich people don't like fucking Honda Accords. Rich people don't like going to Applebee's. You know why they don't? I don't see any hedge fund fucking managers at Applebee's. Who are you talking to? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Clarification
power, right?
before you guys go. I'm not trying to wrestle nobody from their positions. I was just trying to figure out how big of an asshole you are. That's all there was. I wasn't trying to say pinch chaotic. Oh, could you do? I didn't concede. I wasn't as much. Well, I didn't concede chaotic. Could you check with me?
Just as much as an asshole, sir.
Not,
you don't want to live. You don't want to live where your parents came from.
I was born and raised in Portugal. Where your parents from? They are from Cape Verde. Where are your parents from? Where are your parents from? Hey, chaotic. Where are your parents from? Where are your parents from? No. Answer the question. Answer the question. My parents are from Cape Verde, Africa. Where are your parents from?
They're from Nigeria, sir. They're from a
damn.
So even though they didn't live like that, they're
why
from
don't you go back to Nigeria, sir?
Because Nigeria is a shithole, sir.
I do have to agree with you, chaotic, about the beauty. One thing we agree on. We found some common ground here is, the pretty privilege. Like I also agree with Michael that everyone should be grateful and humble, but it doesn't happen that way. I didn't have privilege growing up at all, and half of my life I didn't, and the other half, I mean, Kobe Bryant, who's now passed, lives like 10 minutes up the street from me, right? I did that strategically to give my son the life I didn't have. But I do believe that this pretty privilege thing, it does exist. And whether it's right or wrong, it's just how it is. People do look. Now, I wish I wasn't so much that way. I wish that I looked at money more. But I like the black leads. So it's what I'm attracted to, and it is what it is. But you're right. People do look for that, you know, if you're better looking in life, you do at times you get out of tickets, you get out of stuff. I get anywhere I go, even my age, it doesn't matter. I get things gifted to me all the time because of how I look, and also because of I know how to speak and communicate well. Now, I will say about Fatty real quick. I'm not coming down on you, Lip. I do feel like I don't speak another language fluently. I speak a little Spanish, a little French, a little Thai. So I think we should give him a little bit of grace on that. I'm just saying, but that's it.
Chaotic knows me. This is friendly banter. Don't even
Okay, all right.
But Janelle, that's the thing, right? I agree. I live in reality. Pretty privilege is something. The halo effect is something. I believe people that look better, have more money, are taller, they are going to get a better treatment. We're talking about entitlement. Just because you get those gifts, do you feel entitled to those gifts? Would you come on YouTube and do a video? Why these guys stop sending me gifts? They are not real men. That's what entitlement is. Do you agree with Chaotic that just because you are pretty, you should feel entitled to a treatment that other woman that doesn't share your looks actually have?
No, I would never do that. Now I will. My son does tell me, and my son, you think you know what you're doing, and then your children tell you where they see your blind spots. So my son says, "Mom, you go full Karen mode on these people. Like when I'm traveling and things are not the way I want, or I don't feel like I've gotten the service because I paid a lot, or this and that." You know, sometimes I will argue a point, but he tells me, stop going full Karen. And so I have done some introspective work and just like, okay, there's a way I can communicate a little bit more eloquently and still get the point across and still be respectful. So I'm not perfect. I'm guilty of being full Karen sometimes. So it is what it is.
Rush.
Awesome. Rush, do we have any other questions? Because I'm going to have to run here in a little bit.
Yeah, I got a few more questions, man. A few more red flags, man. My next, this is for the ladies, man. Now when it comes to dealing with a dude, right? Do you think it's a red flag that you have a lack of trust towards that individual? And if so, let's expound on this, man. Talk to me, man.
You said, say it again. A red flag that someone has a lack of trust. You said. Does anybody?
Yeah. Like if you don't have no sense of trust towards that individual that you're dealing with, is that a red flag?
Okay, so you're in a relationship and you don't trust the person that you're with. That, right? Okay, I think that's what he's saying. So if you're with somebody and you don't trust them, then that is a red flag. It would be, because why are you with them? You have a choice of plenty of people that are around your community that you could choose to trust. Also, trust also can be something that you have to watch and see people's actions. You don't just trust someone right away. So it does take a while. I don't think it's natural or organic for people to just get with someone, from a date. Okay, we're going to be in a relationship a month later and you're going to fully trust them. So that's not like logical. I think it does take time. But then if you treating that person badly because you don't trust them and you didn't give them the opportunity to show you that they are, trustworthy, then I think that's a red flag. So that's the answer to the question.
I think it's Janelle. He said for the ladies.
Okay, Lee, you got a rebuttal for that?
Uh-oh. Go ahead, Rush. What do you want you to go?
I wanted Mike to go.
You're muted, Mike.
What was the question?
Ahead. You want?
What was the question again, Rush?
I want you to rebuttal from what Lady Di just said.
About men being controlling?
Like, from what Lady Di was saying, like, have a rebuttal for that, like, because she's saying like, it's not a red flag not to have a total complete trust with an individual that she's dealing with, because it takes time to develop that trust on that with a rebuttal. I mean,
I think you give everyone enough, like he's saying before, Chaotic was saying, you give people enough rope to hang themselves. So I trust but verify, and I give everyone a certain, like, there's a legal parlance that states every dog has one bite in them. So every dog is considered an innocent dog until it goes and bites someone, and then they have to put it down. And so this is a type of situation where I give people the opportunity, if they really need to, just to screw me over. But the thing that happens when it comes to trust, and I'm speaking about business first, and then I'll talk about it in a relationship. When it comes to trust, it's one of these situations where it's like, you get a privilege of getting to work with me. You get access to my network. You get access to my knowledge base. You get access to my systems. If you screw me over, I'm never going to say a fucking word about you. You don't get access to those things anymore. You've lost those privileges now. That's the punishment that you receive. It's the same type of thing in a relationship. I only trust that people are going to look out for their self-interest. And one lesson I try to teach to my clients is, don't trust people you've known for a long time. Trust trustworthy people. And so you'll see when you watch people's actions, is it one of these deals where you're constantly dealing with one of your friends who's ripping other people off and you're just laughing your ass off about it, not realizing that eventually he's going to do the same thing to you? I've had that happen to me twice. As growing up as a young kid, it's like they were misfits and they were miscreants to everyone else, but I didn't realize that someday they were going to turn on me and do the same thing. So my whole thing is, I would give the people enough opportunity. If they can screw you over, let them screw you over. But when you are such a valuable individual as a partner and as a business person, when people screw you over, the punishment is that they don't get access to you anymore. That's enough punishment. And if you have enough value, then that kind of takes care of itself. This is the reason why you'll notice, like, when you have like really, famous entertainers or billionaires, their group around them, they never turn on them. Because if they do, then you lose access to all this privilege that you had. And so that's the way I personally believe you should become as valuable as you can as a partner and as a business person, so that anyone who screws you over is so disincentivized to do so that it's not something that you stay up at night worrying about.
Yeah, I think you should. First of all, you should.
I could definitely dig that, man. Yo, that's all the red flags I got for today, man. I'm gonna kill this joint, you know what I mean? Thank you everybody for coming through, you know what I mean? It's your boy Rush about to sign out. Yo, Fatty, thank you for coming through. Janelle, love you so much. Thank you for coming through. Lady Di, thank you for coming through. Mike, you know what I mean? I definitely appreciate you coming through. And Chaotic Truth, it's my right hand man in these YouTube streets, you heard?
Thank you so
Know
much.
what I mean? So seek wisdom, practice humility, and always remain sucker free, you heard? I'm out. One.
Have a good one, guys.